A quick new idea daily from the world's greatest TEDx talks. I'm your host, Atossa Leoni, and this is TEDx Shorts. The fans of an NBA team may have a specific rallying song. The graduating class of a high school may even claim a pop hit as their anthem. Maybe not surprisingly, even our sense of patriotism is tied up with music. John Morris Russell is a renowned conductor who's worked with dozens of famed orchestras and artists, and he's devoted himself to redefining the American orchestral experience. Today, he looks at how music has been used in politics and how we can find unity in its power.
I'm a conductor. I have two big responsibilities. One is to the musicians in the orchestra to make sure that we perform well together. The other is to the music itself and those composers to make sure that I represent them with veracity and good heart. Every musician in the orchestra has their single line of music. I have all the lines of music for everyone in my score, and I spend most of my time studying my score. I get that music on the written page, and I hear it inside of my head. It sounds tricky, and it is. But there are some people who are extraordinary at it, like Ludwig van Beethoven, the great German composer. So he wasn't just recreating music in his mind, he was composing it in his mind. And I think one of the touchstones to his genius, he was able to imagine things that none of us could even imagine. And then he'd write it down, and then we play it, and then it blows our mind. So I have this sound in my head of a given piece that I'm performing, and in a rehearsal, I listen to the physical sound that comes from the orchestra. And to make things line up, I might use hand gestures to speed things up, to slow things down, to bring up the French horns, have a little less violin. But then every once in a while, a musician will come up with a certain turn of phrase, a certain something that will be really special. And in an instant, I'll throw out the sound that I wanted in my brain and pick up what someone has just offered. And this is a cool thing about orchestral music, is there's always this give and take as we are all working together to create a unique performance. As a pops conductor, I perform mostly American music. Everything from popular classics to Broadway, Hollywood, pop tunes, and patriotic music. A lot of patriotic music, especially that first week of July. You put together a patriotic program, you have a couple Sousa marches, you'll have My Country 'Tis of Thee, some patriotic anthems, you'll have a little big band jazz from Broadway, and you finish with the 1812 Overture. You might not recognize the title of this piece, but you know it. It's used in TV and movies. In V for Vendetta, London is exploding to the sound of the 1812 Overture. Yeah, it's got cannons, literally, the piece has got cannons, church bells, and what a perfect way to end a 4th of July concert. Well, not so quick. The piece was written by a Russian composer, Peter Ilyich Tchaikovsky. And Tchaikovsky's a brilliant composer, but it's about the Russian War of 1812, the one where they defeated the French. Well, and it's kind of ironic because really, if it wasn't for the French, we wouldn't be celebrating Independence Day. I'll put together a patriotic program and include some R&B and soul, little funk, and people will say, the program is not American enough. Well, like the 1812 Overture is, or that we might be considered jingoistic for performing the Armed Forces Salute. But even some of our old-timey anthems, like Yankee Doodle, or the Battle Hymn of the Republic, John Brown's Body is a Mouldering in the Ground, or Helen Reddy, I Am Woman, Hear Me Roar, or Bruce Springsteen, Born in the USA. These are all protest anthems. And today, we have a whole new generation of composers creating protest anthems. I mean, we have Kesha and the artist Common, Lady Gaga. I mean, who's to say that in a generation or two, we won't be playing Childish Gambino's This Is America right next to Glory, Glory, Hallelujah. But what makes American music uniquely American, after all? A lot of people talk about the American experience as being a melting pot. I prefer a mosaic. Everyone comes here with something special and unique, and we put all of those things together, and it creates this vibrant, diverse picture of our country that is so much greater than the summation of its parts. The vast, vast, vast majority of American music comes from Africa. In West Africa musical traditions that go back hundreds of years, use the pentatonic scale. It's got 5 notes. You can play it on the black keys on the keyboard. That pentatonic scale came to these shores in the belly of slave ships and buried deep in the loam of slavery and injustice. The DNA from the music of Africa is in everything, from country, bluegrass, jazz, rock and roll, R&B, soul, funk, hip-hop, gospel, Broadway, salsa. This music exists because we exist. It is our American musical mosaic that is beloved around the world. It is our greatest cultural export. But music in and of itself is not activism. Music that inspires us and unites us and excites us has nothing to do with the politics that divides us. The music that has been used, abused, and abducted by politicians to deliver their message is invariably the antithesis of that message. We have to separate the message from the messenger. Like Beethoven, we have to shut out the noise around us and find that inner music that we all share, that's been forged by centuries of a shared experience. The good, the bad, and the ugly.
The TEDx talk you just listened to was recorded at a TEDx event in Chicago, Illinois. All TEDx events are independently organized by volunteers who believe in TED's mission of ideas worth spreading. Special thanks to the organizing team at TEDxWrigleyville. Visit TED.com/TEDxShorts to listen to the full talk and learn more about TEDx Shorts. I'm Atossa Leoni. Thanks for listening, and see you tomorrow.